What's up guys, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be giving you a book review. This is for The Last Wish, which is a book in the Witcher saga, which obviously the really popular video game is based upon. Now this is written by this dude. I'm not going to attempt to try and pronounce his name, but I think this is the first one in the series. A lot of them are short stories that were in other books beforehand, or were just individual short stories, but this is the first collection of those. And there are 6 short stories in The Last Wish, and they are all intertwined around one frame story that follows through the entire book. Now I believe this was published in 1993 in Poland, where it originated from, and it didn't actually come to the English language until 2007, so it took a long time to translate, I guess, or maybe they waited till it got a bit more popular over here. So a little bit of backstory: I have never played The Witcher 2 or 3. I wanted to play Witcher 1 before I played those two, so I did play The Witcher 1 before I read the book. So there are some things in The Witcher 1 which I picked up on from the book when I was reading it, but other than that I'm trying to start as fresh as possible with this book series. So the frame story that goes on through this entire book is that the protagonist, Geralt the Witcher, Geralt of Rivia, is injured from battle and he is recovering. And as he is recovering and getting better, he's dwelling over some of the moments that has led him to where he is now, which is the flashbacks, which each of these stories are a flashback. There are 6 of them, and each of them really give us a glimpse into different parts of the Witcher's code and the way he lives his life and some of the characters that he interacts with. Now I did read this quite a while ago, so I am going off the top of my head for a lot of this. I have some notes, but mostly it's me just trying to recollect about what I read, because it's been at least, let's say, 2 months since I finished the book. I think there are 7 books in the series overall. I'm not sure how much of it is adapted into the games. I also know that the TV series is releasing at the end of December, and I think that is more based on the book series than it is on the games. So I'm hoping to see some of the things from The Last Wish turn up in the Netflix show, because that would be awesome. That being said, the first story, called The Witcher, is actually one of the main plot lines in the first Witcher game, and that is to do with the Witcher hunting down a beast called a Striga, which is like a werewolf mixed with a succubus, and we get a first glimpse into who he is really, and his skills, and how he works his way through this really old cavernous place to try and take down this monster and use his skill and wit as a witcher. Now a witcher is, I think it's like someone who's been experimented on from youth. So think the Hitman series, but instead of it being someone just being born to raise and kill, he's been altered with potions and all kinds of things to make them like the ultimate hunter of monsters. What I love about this book is just how real it feels. With a lot of fantasy, it's very cliche, you would say. In this one it feels real. You don't feel like the characters are like a walking, talking cliche, like the hero, the king, the queen. Everyone has their own personalities, and it really shows through. And there's a lot of humour in here as well, a lot of banter between the characters, and a lot of realness in the way that life isn't really a fairy tale. You see a lot of grim things in this world. There's actually a lot more horror in this than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be more high fantasy between like elves and dragons and stuff, but there's a lot of actual horror. There's a lot of creepy monsters in this world that I can't wait to read about. The second story, A Grain of Truth, is pretty much pure horror. It's like creepy haunted manor with ghosts and vampires and people who've been transformed into monstrous beasts, and it's just like all the best things of fantasy and horror mixed into one, and you just get a sense that the character of Geralt is such like a badass. Now the focus of the book isn't really on combat, but when you do see combat with Geralt, it's so well written how you can just picture the way he moves and the way he takes down his enemies. It's almost like a dance, and you get to see every sort of detail of that, but it's not boring. It's really fun, and it feels as fluid as you would actually expect it to be watching him fight in real life. And yeah, I just really love the writing style in this book. Is very fluid, I would say. The third story, A Lesser Evil, gives us more of a look into the code of the Witcher and Geralt as a person, about what he does and how he decides on what's good or bad, or whether he should take a job. So it's not just a clear cut, it's a monster who must be killed, because a lot of the time the monsters aren't just the beasts. People can be monsters too, and we get this sense of Geralt being this person who gets to decide whether things should be taken care of or not, and whether he should leave things to be sorted in another way. So we do just get a fully like fleshed out character of Geralt and how he works with other people as well. He's not the only character in this. We have the character of Dandelion, which is this lute playing drunkard who's a bit of a womanizer, so he's a really funny, interesting character, and the way he acts around Geralt, this stoic sort of, I wouldn't say hero, but anti-hero character, the way they both work together and their dialogue is really funny. Like I said, it's not all combat. There are a lot of battle of wills and a lot of dialogue sort of battles, I guess, about how they can figure out conflicts through speech and diplomacy, and that's also really cool as well. There's not too much focus on like the politics of the world in this book. I've not read the other ones yet, but you just get the idea of that this whole world has all these different ideas about how things are done, and the fourth book you see that come to fruition as a big sort of party with all these different people trying to claim the Queen's daughter's hand or something, and we see people come from all different walks of life in different places, and they all have their own ideas about what they should do if they became part of this royal family. And Geralt's kind of just the bodyguard, the bystander, but his thoughts on it are also very important. There is a lot of humour in the book, don't get me wrong. There's one of the stories is about a red devil sort of creature. The only thing I can sort of muster up in my imagination is if you've seen the devil in the tribute video by Tenacious D. I imagine it to look like that, but it's just this weird devil creature who's very mischievous, and he goes around just destroying people's crops, and the people whose farm it is are trying to get rid of him, so they stumble across Geralt and try and get them to help. And this guy's just like this monster is just crazy. He throws like balls at them and just he scares them away into the forest, and there's not much more I can say about this story. Just that it's very crazy story and very humorous, and I expect to see a lot more of that in the following books and the game series, to see all these weird sort of side quests that the characters take on, because it's not always just Geralt and his crew taking down the big monster. They get sidetracked and they need money, so you see them doing a lot of things that they wouldn't normally do, just to get like a warm bed for the night and food, and to carry on to their next goal. I would say there's a little bit of romance in this story as well. It's not really the forefront of the story, and it's towards the latter end of the book as well, but I was quite into it. I felt the chemistry between the characters, although they weren't really friendly with each other. It was more like they were at odds with each other, but they were still like forming some sort of bond, and it wasn't just this story about love at first sight sort of thing. In this book series so far, if people want to just bang, they just bang. There's no trying to pretty up this story. This is just how things happen in this world, and I love that about it. It's real. It's what happened. I don't really do scores, but I would give this like a 9.5 out of 10. Really, it's such a good blend of short stories. I really enjoy like having short stories because they all give a little different aspect of The Witcher and the world that you wouldn't normally see if you were following one story, unless it's obviously like a really well crafted story and it's lengthy. But these are little short tidbits that give you all the information you want in a short space of time, in a completely different sense, way, and sort of location and a set of characters. So yeah, I really did enjoy this book. I can't wait to read the next one. I love the banter between Geralt and Dandelion, and I cannot wait to see that continue. And that's going to be my review for The Last Wish. I'm definitely going to be reading The Blood of Elves and giving you a review for that and whatever's next in the series. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. What do you think of the Witcher book series? What do you think of The Last Wish? Have you read the books and the games? What do you prefer? And obviously, yeah, let me know how you think the game stacks up as an adaptation to the book series. I know it's not the same story, but the character-wise and the world. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.